Good evening. Ah, lovely. We've got somebody joining us. Excellent. Oh, I don't know about you, but it's a bit of a close one here in Lincolnshire. I wouldn't say it's sunny. It's very, oh, hi, Jean. What's it like where you are? Cool. North Coast here. We could do with a blooming good shower. That's what I mean outside in the rain. No, let's start again. Not an actual shower outside in the rain. We could do with it raining, a good old shower outside. It's all very muggy out there at the moment. Do you think it is, Mark?
Yeah.
Muggy.
It's been raining this afternoon.
Well, did you call that rain?
Well, it's the closest we've had for about 5 weeks.
We had about 4 spots. Mark said it's rained this afternoon. It definitely wouldn't be called rain. I don't know about anywhere else. It's been as dull as dishwater though, honestly. So dull, but so warm. Anyway, hope everybody's all right. Talking about the weather a lot at the moment, aren't we? Right then, let's see if anybody else is going to pop in. Mark's here, so he's having a... Have you got it up on the... He's having a little mosey on the old laptop to see if he can bring us up. Looks like it's me and Eugene at the minute.
Oh dear.
Just 2 more minutes, 2 seconds. Well, in fact, seconds, because then we can get on. Because even if you watch on, even if you can't make it on the evening, you can always watch on catch up, which is always an excellent way of having a look. And when we've finished with the live, they go on to That's Crafty UK on YouTube. So if you don't already belong to That's Crafty YouTube, or you don't follow it, not belong to it, because it's not a Facebook page, you actually follow a YouTube channel, then pop over and subscribe, because that would be fabulous. Right. Mark still hasn't... Have you found it?
No.
Okay, right, so I just need to know, is the volume okay, Jean?
Yeah, got me now.
Ah, Mark's got us now. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over. So if we see...
Laura's in the house.
Oh, good morning. No, it's not morning at all. Good evening, Laura. It's confusing, isn't it, when I've been on once this week and it's a morning, now it's an evening. Okay, so we'll get you turned around, and then hopefully a few more will join us, and if not, then we'll have a jolly good time between us, won't we? All right?
Yep.
Okie dokie. Right, let me turn you around. There we go. Let's have a little look. Are we more or less there?
Yep.
Fabulous. Okie dokie. Now, I am going to put my fan back on. I did switch it off just for the beginning, but I'm going to put it back on because it's really seriously warm in here. Today, in the winter, I was saying, oh my gosh, it has been cold in here today. Right then, so on my live that I did the other, it was on Mini Monday Makes about 2 weeks ago, I Oh, let me move that one. Sorry? Oh, hi Sandra. Thank you for joining us. Right, so I made this a couple of weeks ago on Mini Monday Makes and absolutely loved it. I really loved it. I enjoyed making it, and lots and lots of people have said that they enjoyed watching it, and also that they are loving the collection. Now, I did also say, whilst I was doing this, that there is also a mould, because when a collection comes out from Stamperia, so I don't know what to say, it's the Daisy Art Collection. I'm going to bring this front in. This is the junk journal. Sorry?
Connie's into.
Oh, hi Connie. Thank you for popping in. So this is actually the junk journal, the Daisy Art set from Stamperia. We're also using the 8x8 pads. Now, you're going to have to excuse the state of my 8x8 pads, because I've muddled them up, and I've also cut the front cover up, so I don't have a front cover. Oh, that was the start of the front cover, but I've actually cut that up because I'll show you the bits that I've cut off it in a few minutes. I always use the front cover because they always have some fantastic examples of the papers on the front cover, and also on the back they always have a couple of strips. So you've got a strip here and a strip there on the background of all of their, whether they're 8x8s, 6x6s or 12x12s. Stamperia always make their fronts really decorative, and I always cut them up. I always use them because it's such a waste if you don't. So it always ends up that my paper pads are in a complete and utter jumble. I do keep them all together in a folder, but they end up being some from the background set, some from the 8x8s double-sided, and some from the single-sided. So I mean, you can see these are from the double-sided and these are the 8x8s. Now, I do know that the stock that Laura has got is a restock, because and you'll remember me mentioning this when I did my live the other day with it, I missed out on the first lot. I was too slow, far too slow, and I was very cross with myself because I really wanted this collection. Anyway, it came back in stock. It is still in stock, but I can't say how long it's going to be in stock. And obviously Laura, you know, the stock is there, so if you do want it, go for it, because I'm not sure how much of this stock is actually available from Stamperia anymore, because I know that they've moved on now to Christmas. I'm not saying there isn't any, but what I'm saying is, if you love it, don't hang about on it, because honestly it is an absolutely gorgeous collection. Now, as we said, I did mention that with a collection, a whole collection from Stamperia, they do, I would say always, at the moment they seem to be always bringing out a mould, sometimes 2 or 3 in the collection. Now, I've actually got this one, which I am absolutely loving, and I think anybody that loves their moulds, whether they use them for using them in resin, casting resin, ordinary resin, whether you use paper, clay, air dry clay, or whether you use plaster, or whatever you use, I think this is absolutely stunning. So it's got this amazing jug with the daisy flowers in it. Now, as always, I'm going to bring my ruler, because I always think you need to know the roughly about sizing. Now, this particular piece in this mould is actually 10 centimetres from the very top to the bottom, and it is say a good 7.5 from side to side, so you know that's a good size. I'm actually using this tonight. There's also the daisy, which is 5 by 5 centimetres, that wonderful butterfly, another butterfly there from the side angle, a super little butterfly there which is a different style to that one, various daisies, to go along with those. You've got the bumblebee, and the detail in the bumblebee is phenomenal. I'm going to show you that in a minute. You've got leaves as well that go with the sunflower, the daisy. You could make that into a sunflower, you can make it into a daisy, whatever really, wherever your imagination takes you really. So when I did the live for this one, I did promise, or that this was all paper crafting, so I did promise that I would do some of the moulds on my next one. So there we go, that's what we're doing tonight. So I'm not casting any. In fact, I haven't used resin on this one because I'm really low on the resin, and I didn't want to start and not being able to finish off actually pouring it in. So it's casting resin that I use, and it's the amazing, do you call it the amazing or just amazing resin? I know Laura will hopefully link that if it is in stock, because I know that it was quite low recently. I meant to order some and I completely forgot. Oh, hi Shelley. I've actually, sorry, Mark actually did these for me. He actually cast them for me in plaster. So this is actually like a plaster of Paris type, because you can use these for moulds, as you well know. I must admit, for the very detailed and the very fragile moulds, like the bumblebee and some of the leaves and things, I do prefer resin because it's a little bit tougher, but it doesn't spoil what we're going to do tonight. So that is the mould. Absolutely 100% is one of those that will be one of the moulds that you pick up and put down so many times over the year. And of course they're excellent quality moulds from Stamperia. They are super duper quality, and you can use them if you wanted to. You can obviously use them for food items. They are food graded safe. We do have to say, if you use them for food, don't use them for craft, for health and hygiene. That's entirely up to you what you do. But obviously for crafting, they're just incredible. I'm a mould fiend, I have to say. I would have every mould in the whole wide world if I could afford it. I can't, I don't, but I do have quite a few. Anyway, so that's what we've got. Now, we are using the paper pads that I've just shown you as well. And we're also using, let me just put that mould to one side before I do break it. I'm also using these, now you know I love these. These are the shadow tags, the MDF shadow tags. Now these are the size of these. You get 4 in the set. Then they're 4 different shapes at the top. Now the 21 centimeters from top to bottom, and width is 10.5. Now the inside piece is, and you'll see what I mean in a minute, 'cause I'm going to show you how to make it up, is just over 8.5, and that is by 14. So basically you're going to get a lovely area in between. So you've got this top, which is I don't know, I would call it I'm not quite sure what shape you'd call that. I know Laura will say for me. And obviously you're getting the sides. I'll show you that in a second. You're getting the rounded top, which is lovely. It's very, it's super when the rounded top is put together. And then you've got the classic tag shape at the top on this one. The one that I have used, now I've done a little bit of, well, I've done quite a lot of prep, because obviously we can't do everything in an hour. So this is the one that we're going to use, and this is the rounded tag. So it's like a classic tag shape, but it's got that rounded element. They've all got the holes at the top. Obviously if you don't want the holes at the top and you're going to cover them over with paper or whatever, then you go ahead. A scallop, thank you very much. So I'm going to just show you very quickly how to put this together. these together. So you get the, like I say, you get the 4, so you can choose what shape that you want and then have the other 3 for another project. And so that's how simple and easy they pop out. Now I'm not going to glue them in because I will want to just take them out and store them away again, because until my next project. But what I tend to do is, I personally start on the one of the long edges. Then what you do, so of course you would glue at the bottoms here and then just the side pieces. So pop that one in, glue, and then the side pieces and the bit here, the bit that's going to pop into that. And then I do this side piece, which goes into that, there we go, into there. And then there's just the end bit that very simply pops into those bits. Glued together, glue really quickly. You know, I use my multi-purpose glue from, that's Crafty. I use that because it's great for MDF, it's great for paper crafting, cards, everything like that. So it's a one-trick pony, and it's not a one-trick pony, and you don't have to keep going and getting different glues for different things, which is what I love. So that is how we put the actual MDF tags together. So that's it in its stuck together format. Now obviously this is the area that's going to be our wonderful scenery. Just because the hole is just there does not mean to say that you have to use it like that. You could use it like this. So you could use it obviously horizontal, vertical, horizontal, vertical is up. I've got myself confused there. Vertical obviously is the way that it's sort of been made as such, because it's got the hole at the top. But if you wanted it horizontal, oh lovely, welcome ladies. But of course you could use it like this and have it as a little, you've got much a bigger sort of obviously a horizontal area to make a much more of a horizontal scene if you wanted to do it like that. You don't have to keep the hole, obviously you could cover that in paper like I said before, or you could just fill it in with some structure paste and then paint over it, whatever, doesn't matter. But don't think you have to use it this way on, you can use it that way on. You can use it also with some acetate over the top if you wanted to make it into like a window. You could put lights inside it. Oh, there's so many different things. This is why I love these. They are really super for a small, doable mixed media project. So if you want to just do something that's not huge, you don't want to do a canvas, but you want something substantial, you want more than a card project, and you want to use MDF, these are absolutely ideal and extremely affordable as well. So what I've done with this is I've stuck it together. I've gessoed it, okay, as you can see. I've gessoed it all the way around, so I'm going to paint that bit. I am actually going to put paper on the inside and paper on the side, and I have completely coloured the back of it, because I know some people don't worry about the back, because they say, well, if it's going up on the wall, then why do you need to do the back? But personally, I like to complete the whole lot. I like to get the sides done, the back done, and then anybody receiving it, if you are gifting it, if you're selling it or whatever, it's their choice then, isn't it, as to whether they want it on an easel, and if they do, then obviously you're going to maybe see the back of it, or whether you want to hang it up, whatever you want to do. So what we're going to do first is, what we're going to do for now then, the question. Right, so what we're going to do first is we're just going to paint the outside. And this particular project is going to be a lot more vintage than this one that we did. This one is much, I mean, we use the crackle paint. By the way, this, you can see this one on YouTube. I uploaded it only this week. And we've had lots of views, which I'm really pleased. Oh, I'm so grateful, because it's so lovely when we've done a live and everybody's enjoyed it on the live, and maybe on a catch up from the live, and then we move it over and then people can actually watch it on YouTube, and it'll be on YouTube forever. Not like Facebook now, unfortunately. It goes after 6 weeks, I think it's 6 weeks. But no, YouTube is unended, so you can go and have a little look at how we did this if you didn't see it before. So we've kept this one, what I call, well, this is as near as pretty as what I get, I think. So we kept it quite basic. We did a bit of structure paste in the background and a bit of paint, but like I say, it was all paper crafting, whereas this one is going to be a little bit more vintagey. So I have cut a piece of paper to fit. Now what I did was, before I put this side on, I actually put a piece of paper, offered it up and made a crease round and on here, and so I got the right size of it. Now I wanted to put that in there just to show you, but I want to actually take it out now so we can do something with it. That's going to go into the background, so I don't need to paint the background and I don't need to paint the insides. I just really need to paint the outer edges. So we'll do that just quickly. So I'm going to be using, to have mislaid my towel somewhere. Yeah, perhaps on the, is it on the, no, it's not on the floor. No, it's not for that. It's to wipe my brushes on. Oh, it's on the back of my chair. Are you all going? It's on the back of the chair, Joe. There we go. Right, I am using the teal from the multi-surface paint. I'm just going to wash over, just paint over. Now, I don't have a great deal of this left. I didn't have a lot of it left the other day when I was using it for the other project. So I've had to slightly water it down. But actually that doesn't matter, because I'm doing like a whitewash, like a wash type idea over it anyway, because I'm going to dry brush over it once this is dry. So it actually worked out rather well. So, but multi-surface paint, as the name suggests, obviously it goes on all surfaces. So I'm just going to, sorry? Oh, hi ladies, thank you ever so much for popping in. So we're just getting our MDF shadow tag ready, just painting that up. We had a little discussion about the weather, and of course we did, because that's what we do, isn't it? Right, so just got those tops done and just got that round there. Now it's going to dry super quickly, because obviously it's warm. So but I am going to just whisk it really quickly with my heat tool. So I just want to go over and do a little bit of dry brushing. The reason why I picked the teal is because it does go really well with the collection, but you can pick out whatever colour that you wish, of course. Right, so I've actually got my, that's Crafty gesso now, which, as you well know, I use all the time for dry brushing. So I've got some on my brush. I'm going to take a little bit off, and then I'm just going to literally take my brush, not cover up the blue, but just very gently just go over the blue, so it gives that really nice subtle effect. Now on the other project we did the crackle, so if you wanted to see how we did the crackle, have a little look on the video on YouTube and you'll see how we did the crackle there, which could be an option on this one as well if you wanted to. Right, so that's that done. Put my lid on. Now what we're going to do, so we've got that done, so I can actually just pop that to one side for a sec. Now, so I've got this piece of paper that, as you know, goes exactly into there. It's that gorgeous, really, really lovely, like sagey green. And I've also got lots of bits and bobs. Now, you know, we mentioned at the beginning that I always use my my front covers, which I'm sure lots of you do, because it'd be such a waste if you didn't, and the back covers. And these are the strips that I actually cut off there. And what I thought was it'd be rather nice to use these as a little bit of a backdrop for where I'm going to actually put my lovely watering can of flowers. Now then, I do need my little Tim Holtz tool. And just really quickly just whisk along the edges of these. Okay, now I know that I'm going to cut these down, so I'm not going to be too worried about that, about the top bits. Now remember we said we was going to make this a little bit more vintagey. Now how we're going to do it, we're actually using the walnut ink crystals, and I have dissolved some in a plastic cup. Now you could use bitumen as well. As you know, I'm a big fan of that, and that is available on That's Crafty website. Water based, so it's very kind, very friendly. I thought, you know, just to swap it up a little bit, I might use crystals tonight. Now the walnut crystals are actually a water soluble dye product, so it says, you can see here, so you dissolve the crystals in water, produce a liquid that you can dip, you can sponge it, you can paint it. It dyes fabric, which is absolutely fantastic. You can do lots of different, loads and loads of different techniques with it. It is absolutely superb with the tea bag papers that Laura has on the website. Now here is my, might need to just pop this up just a tad. There we go. So this is, it's all dried up now because of the, I'll put some more water in. Right, so I put some in earlier and I was using it, and it sort of just dried up a tad, but as you can see, all you need to do is just give it a refresh if it dries up in between your projects, and then you can actually reuse it quite easily. Now for those that don't, let me just be a bit careful with this, because obviously for those that don't know what they look like, this is what they look like. So they're very similar to you know, like the Brusho granules, you know, the Brushos, and so you can use them in a similar way as well to the Brushos. Oh, little Jean, lovely. Hi Jean. Right, so what I'm going to do is, all I want to do is take off, I don't need a great deal, and I'm just going to go and just very, very loosely, let me just move that out of the way, that's it, very loosely just wet that, just paint those on the edges, okay? Just, doesn't matter if you miss a little bit, it's not a problem, because it will just soak. Because I've actually uncovered the white core of the paper, which is more absorbent than the actual pattern part of the paper, it's going to absorb it a lot quicker and a lot more. There's a lot on that one, but never mind, I might, that doesn't matter. I was doing it the wrong way around. Here we go. So just don't think I'm going to use all of these actually. I might not need all of these bits, but I will be saving them for something else, because you're not going to throw these beautiful papers away. You can see lovely summery papers, absolutely gorgeous. Of course, Christmas is out now, Stamperia Christmas, and there's, I think, is it 2 collections, Laura, that there is out now? Laura has both of them. I know they've been really, really popular for us, so I don't know whether, I'm presuming that they'll be bringing out some more, because it seems a little bit early just to bring out 2 collections and not any more really, but I don't know. You never know. You never know. Now, this is a piece of paper that I've took from one of the 8x8 papers, and it had a little, gorgeous little, like a wildflower meadow border at the bottom. And what I've done is I've just cut that. So I'm going to keep that, because I need that in a second. Now, what we're going to do is, I'm just going to...
2 main collections and 2 mini collections.
Ah, right, okay, thank you.
Just popped into
Kerry. Hi, Kerry. Good evening. Now, so I'm just giving these a little bit of a spray over, and you can see what's happening is the paint that I've put on is just slightly bleeding out, which is exactly what I want. And I should have done that on my actual glass mat, but that would have been more sensible, but it doesn't matter because I can move this over now. Just take that off. That's it, rip that off. So I'm going to leave that just to do its thing. Okay, move it onto a little bit of the dry side, and then but you can see what's happening. I'll just bring it up, but it's really making the papers look, it's still keeping the gorgeous, pretty, beautiful patterns, but it's given it that really, really lovely vintage look. It's if you make books or you do your journaling, this product is highly recommended. I know, Shelley, you use it a lot, don't you? I'm going to pop it over there just for a few minutes while we do these other bits that we're going to do. Right, so we have got, the next thing that we're going to do is, would you pass me a plastic wallet so I can just, actually, no, no, yes please. Oh, I got a look then. Was that a look? I seem to have mislaid my mess. Thank you, Doc. I seem to have mislaid my messy mat. I'm not quite sure where I put it, but anyway, it'll appear. It's bound to be when I was doing. It will appear by magic. I'm just putting a few more crystals into that water out of my walnut ink crystals, and just giving it a little bit of a stir round, just to make sure that I've got enough, which I'm sure that I have. And now what we're going to do, and you're all going to go, oh my goodness me, what are you doing? But I'm now going to paint this absolutely gorgeous mould. And if you've just, let me just get the mould back again. If you have just popped in, it's actually out of this mould, which is, oh, honestly, it's going to be used and used and used, this one. It's got so much on it that I will be wanting to use on card making, mixed media projects, canvases, on so many things. Now tonight, just to repeat what how we've done this one is actually a plaster mould from it, because I wasn't sure if I would have enough of the casting resin. In an ideal world, I would have used casting resin on this, because it would have been a little bit more, this one's sturdy enough because the moulds are so deep and you can put so much in them, but just to be on the safe side. Now I can go straight onto this because it is plaster. I didn't have to gesso it. If you were using a casting resin, you would need to gesso it. Okay, just with a little bit of white, keeping it nice and neutral. So just make sure. Oh, I will tell you now that the walnut ink will stain your fingers just for a little while, but it's only like distress ink. And if you just use the normal method of how you get distress ink off your fingers, whatever you choose to use, then that's all you need to do with this. But of course, if you don't want to get your fingers stained, then just use rubber gloves, or well, yeah, just use rubber gloves really. But it comes off. I mean, my hands were covered earlier on, and I've given them a good wash, and it was just with ordinary soap. And to be fair, that it's just a bit, it's just a little bit there now. So there we go. So that is with that's how I've done it. That's how I did the piece that I'm going to show you in a second. And then I've got a dry baby wipe. It's not, I haven't took it, well, it's a dry baby wipe that I'm now going to wet. But I didn't want it wet out of the packet as a baby wipe. I don't use baby wipes very often, because they're not really the best environmentally friendly things. But I am wetting it now, but I'm only wetting it with some water. And then what we're going to do is we're going to then wipe it back. Now it will still look quite dark, but it's more of a mahogany now that we're rubbing back. Now I'm having to be careful because I'm going to fess up, and I'm going to tell you I broke the handle off about 10 minutes before I came live, just as I was putting everything out, because I was just being too rough, and I stuck it back, and I've used my That's Crafty glue and I've stuck it back together again. Yeah, I thought that'd keep that to myself, because I thought you're only going to go, well, you shouldn't be so rough with them, which I agree. I was very rough with the bee. The bee ended up legless, but that's my own fault. It's not because of the inequality, the lack of quality in the mould. It's the fact that we've used plaster rather than resin, especially on the bee, because honestly, it's so delicate and it's so detailed. I would highly recommend. Now this is exactly what I would do if this was casting resin or if it was paper clay. Okay, so this is not anything different just because I'm using plaster pieces. All right, this is exactly what I would be doing. I'm being very careful just keep just dabbing over it. Don't, if you are choosing to use plaster, don't lean, don't press on it. I mean, obviously resin, oof, a lot harder. And paper clay, leave it to dry, and then, you know, do it as you would for normal paper clay. Leave it to dry, depending on the colour of it. If it's white, then fine, you can go straight over. It will be a little tiny bit more absorbent with paper clay, but it will still take off the bits that you want, like I have done there. Okay, because I use all of the ones that I've mentioned. So when we take it off like that, just pop that to one side. So I'm going to bring it up to the camera now. Can you see? You see how that lovely, amazing detail? It's just incredible. I'll just wait for it to catch up. Has it caught up? Oh, fabulous. So you can see the detail is immense. It really, really is. Now, I'm going to show you the finished one, which is there. Now, I'm going to obviously do it because that's part of the whole thing for me to show you this evening. So from that to this, which is absolutely, it really is gorgeous. It looks like it's been bronzed, like a bronzed statue type thing. So the next bit that we want to do is we want to go back to our white gesso, and we need our flat brush again, because what we're going to do is we're going to go over and we're going to dry brush over the top. So what we've achieved is we've achieved the actual bit, I'll say bitumen, you could use bitumen. We've achieved the worn ink has gone into all the tiny nooks and crannies of the actual stamp itself. It's not a stamp, the mould itself, sorry. But what you've got it, and you're still going to have that wonderful vintage feel about it, but you are also going to get colour on the actual top. Now you can see I'm using a flat brush. Seem to have got a bit of something going off astray there. These are only cheap. They're not expensive brushes at all. I don't use expensive brushes for this sort of thing. So just dry brushing over the top, flat, and I'm going across. I cannot tell you how light I'm actually going across. It's so light, honestly, it's like little fairy fingers, because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just get that colour down without actually pressing into the actual mould parts themselves. So all these lovely areas are still going to be that gorgeous nut brown colour, that walnut brown, really gorgeous. So I think that's as much as what it needs. Now I'm going to finish this one, but I have gone ahead and done leaves, and we've done the bumblebee, because it's exactly the same idea, completely the same. Now I'm bringing in my mustard yellow from that's Crafty, so that the multi-surface paints again. I'll just take a little bit of that, put it on my plastic sheet there, and again I'm going to be dry brushing. Alright, so I'm loading up my brush, but then I'm wiping it back on my kitchen roll, and then I'm going on to the actual daisies. The reason why we did the white, if I had gone straight onto the actual brown without putting on the white gesso, you would never get this really lovely true mustardy yellow colour coming through. It would be a much darker yellow, and it really wouldn't do what we wanted it to do. Okay, so do go over with the white. It is definitely worth it. Now, I think that looks lovely as it is. I mean, obviously we've got a bit of work to do on the jug, but I think it's just gorgeous as it is, because you can see all that gorgeous vintage colour underneath. You've got that lovely walnut colour. Can you see, get that in shot there? But you've still got the yellow as well. But we are going to take it a little step further. Where's my green? So we've got this one is it's just green. Just green. Yes, I don't mean just green, because it's a lovely green. I think it's a super Christmas green. Actually, there is a Christmas green, but I do think this one is super. Now, just putting a bit of green on that, just taking it a little bit off. Now I'm going to be a little bit more careful, but if you go onto the daisies with a bit of green, it's not going to be the end of the world. We're only really sort of tickling a little bit of what we can see are the green leaves on the actual mould. We're not doing a piece of fine art here. We're just doing a tiny bit of just dry brushing, just getting into just those little tiny areas where you can. All right, so that's enough. Now what I want to do is I want to just add a little bit of the gold. So again, I'm just taking a tiny bit, just popping it on my mat and just taking it off on my paper, and then just going with the flat of my brush and whisking it over, and that brings out the leaf, all the foliage, and also the daisies. But what we are going to do is we're going to put a little bit on the pot as well, the actual it's like a little, well, it's a vase, isn't it, but it's sort of like a watering can type idea. So we're just doing a little bit, but we're just going in from the sides like so, and from this side, and we're going to keep that middle bit brown. Okay, so I'll bring it up and I'll show you. There we go, hopefully you can see that. Have I caught up? Lovely. So you can see how beautiful it really is. An absolutely stunning mould. Everything on it is lovely. Right, I'm just putting my lids on because it's so warm, it's drying up very quickly. Now what I do want to do is I just want to go in with a little bit of white, but I'm putting the white on my brush and I'm just slightly rubbing it off again because I don't want it to be too white, and I just want to just add. Yes, now resin is casting resin, yeah, is much stronger, and it's simple. It's as simple can be. If you get a 50/50 one, I mean the casting resin that Laura has on the website, I know, I think, have you got several, Laura? I know that you used to have several. I don't know what you've got in at the moment, but you want casting resin, Christine, for the for this sort of project. You don't want the resin that you have to wait to actually set, and also the clear is more for decorative items, and you're going to leave them clear, and you may be going to encapsulate some glitter and bits and bobs into that. You don't want to be using that type of resin for this sort of thing. it's more expensive. I mean, it's perfect for what you want, but you don't want to be buying the more expensive resin to just be using as a casting resin. It's not feasible really. It will work, but it'll be a waste of your money, to be honest. You can get so much more casting resin for your money, and you get so much out of a supply of casting resin, even if you get a small bottle of it. And generally they're 50-50, so you put 50 whatever, say 10 millilitres of one, 10 of the other, and just follow the instructions, mix them up, pour them in. With a casting resin you will get a milky finish, whereas actually, Mark, there's some bits of resin in that box next to you that I've got, that I've done in the past, that in the little Christmas box. Don't ask me why it's in the Christmas box, I don't know, but I know that they're in there. That's it, lovely. So that's actually, I'm going to show you the difference between, I keep them in here when right, so if I show you, that's the casting resin from the Ballerina Stamperia set, and that's white, that's the white plaster. So you can see the difference. This is shiny, and this is when I say you must always gesso that, okay? Gesso it, because what it will do is it will create a matte finish, so then you can go on and paint over it, okay? Whereas obviously if you're using a plaster cast type for moulds, then you can just go straight over it. I don't choose to go for the plaster casts unless it's a really solid sort of a piece out of a mould. If it's really delicate, I mean, to be fair, that bumblebee, these arms and legs and antennae are, I mean, in fact I've lost a bit there, look, can you see? I've lost the end there, look, because it's very delicate. But these, I mean, they're solid. They're as solid as theirs long. I actually did these so many months ago, and what I'll do is I've put them in this pot, my little box there, for when I want to use them again, and they're in there and they're absolutely fine. Okay, so hopefully that's answered the question for you, Christine. Now, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and let me just grab that and get my papers. We'll just put everything together. I'm going to try and get this, I know I'm going to slightly go over, but I'd rather go over and show you how it assembles up. So I'm going to put, actually no, I'll use this one, the one that I've done. I'll put that one to one side, I'll use that on another day. Now I'm going to bring in the bits and bobs that I have actually done. So I have done a bee. So I've got a bumblebee there, it's a bit white there, but it'll be fine. I can always tweak it once it's in situ. And look at these absolutely stunning leaves. The detail is incredible. This is all off that one mould, and there was so much more. There is a butterfly as well that I do, but I decided I wasn't going to use that one. I've used the bumblebee instead. So I've done all of that before, because obviously it's only doing exactly the same as what I've done on the jug and the flowers. Now I've also done some little daisies, and all off the same mould, and I've done exactly the same, and I'm going to use those as well. So now what we need to do, we need to put our bits and pieces together. Now then, right, okay, so I haven't done the edges of these, so I'm going to leave those and going to do those afterwards. And well, actually it'll be Yeah, it'll be afterwards now because I won't have time to do those. I should have maybe have done them before. But basically they're for the outer edges, which doesn't matter because it's not going to spoil what we're doing, not by any means. Actually, what I need to do is I need to put these in here. So what I'll do is I'll just nip around the edges of those at the top of them afterwards with a little bit of distress ink. I don't think that's going to be a major problem, but I do want those for the middle parts. So I'm just going to pop my pieces inside, and then I'll do the outside ones afterwards. Now I could have painted the sides, not a problem. Let's just take that out. I could have painted the insides, but I thought, well, we've got all these beautiful papers, and they're just going to look so lovely as part of the inside, so that's why I decided to do that. And you're hardly using any. Now then, let me have a little look. I did put the checks at the bottom, that's it. Not that it matters really, but it's all from the same paper pad. Just move that along, and then I've got one for the top and one for the bottom. So pop we'll slightly overlap the corners, but I prefer to slightly overlap and press it over than under do it, because I've got my bone folder here. If you just sort of like, I might lift it up a little bit while I'm just putting it together, that's it. And so it just overlap them. It actually it doesn't. Oh, hi Maxine. So whilst I'm just popping these bits in, just to remind you that we're trying to get the well, we're not just trying, we are getting the YouTube channel a little bit more active, making people aware that there is lots and lots of videos on there. We do have a fantastic following on there as well, don't we, Laura? So it would be lovely if you popped on there and had a little look. So every Facebook live that we do is going to be put on there for you to have a little look back on if you would like, because we are actually losing them on Facebook after 6 weeks now. So now I'm just going to point this out. Okay, these edges, I just need to tidy those up just slightly. Now I'm not going to do too much of them, because what I will do is I'll get my sandpaper and just sand those off afterwards. But what I want to do, I want to concentrate on this middle part here. So all the tidying up bits afterwards can be done. Right, so make sure you've got your glue on around, you know, all around the outside. Now we've got some writing on this, so make sure I've got it on the, just in a different language, but it still doesn't want to be upside down, does it? So, and then just press, and don't worry if the glue comes over the edge, because it's dries clear, but also if you've just got yourself a dry paintbrush, and I keep this one for this purpose. I don't tend to use it for painting or whatever with, because obviously it's going to get you don't really want to be mixing your paints and your glues together. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pop just some pieces of these strips. I definitely won't be using all of them, all right, but I will be using them again for something else, so I would rather have too many than not enough. So I'm just going to pop those strips. Different levels, different heights. I think that the way that the actual walnut ink crystals goes onto the sides is really, really lovely, and it just adds a bit of something for very little effort. Right, so now I want to just do a couple of bits, just going that way on. Now I could have done some paper weaving on the back there, but I decided I didn't need to do that because it would look just as nice doing it like this. Sure, it's reasonably straight. Right, so now I know some of this is going to be covered up because obviously we're going to put the flowers on, but not all of it, not all of it, and the bits that are going to show are going to create a really lovely backdrop. Right, I'm going to just offer that up onto there. Ah, now then, there was one thing, and I haven't done it on this one, so I am going to just take that one back, the one that I did earlier. It's exactly the same, but can you see this one? It's exactly the same. It's come out the mould, so it's got to be the same, but there was this little tiny bit here, was just, it just did not go into the middle because it was catching. So what I did, I just nipped it off and it goes in there now. There's always an answer. Mark says I always have an answer. I don't know whether that's a compliment, but there you go. I don't think it was a compliment when he said that. Right, so just put that one up there. Now at the bottom here, I've got this lovely piece here that I'm going to put in. And I'm going to put this down a little bit on the sides. I'm not going to worry if I've got too much glue on there. Okay, because I can brush it off. What I want to do is, I have cut it the right size, so I'm going to set it down on one side, press it right into the corners, there we go, right onto the base, and just wipe that with my towel. Press these down, and then right into the corner there. Have I got, yeah, I just need a little tiny bit on this side. There we go, press that in. And get my brush that I use for my glue. Take away any excess while it's still wet. And then what I'm going to do is just, that just needs, there's my bit of, I'm just going to hold that, yeah, so I just, that was still wet, so what I'll do is, get my knife, oh it's here, I've got a little scalpel somewhere, scruffy scalpel, I'll call it. Right, I'm going to leave it because I don't want to cause myself an injury, which I will do because it's still wet. Oh, I can get that off, look. If I'd left it to dry, I could have just nipped that off with the scissors. That wouldn't have been, but I'll tidy that up in a bit. Right, so the most important thing is that we want to get that middle finished, and then I'll tidy all that up after. Right, so now what we want to do is we want to build this up because I don't want it flat on the floor. So I've got all these bits of cardboard. Okay, so it's just ordinary cardboard from the back of actually one of these books that I use. And I'm just going to, I also keep my scraps of Crafty board, as you well know, and this is perfect for doing this with. Now I've already cut these, so I know that these are going to be the right height. Okay, now there we go. That's now going to sit on there. Okay, just making sure it's in the middle, because if it's not, that I don't know about you, but that would really annoy me. And then what we're going to do is we've got our bumblebee there. I'll put that on in a minute. I've got, there we go, I've got a little bit of sisal. Now I'm going to keep this the natural colour, because it's going to, you're still going to see this border. I'm not spoiling anything. I've got a new pot. Oh, isn't it lovely when you've got a new pot or something? I've got a new pot of my heavy body gel. Ooh, it'll take a lot really to amuse me. There we go. Just scrape that off there. Now this will dry clear at the when. Sorry, Kay. Oh, Kay. Hello, my lovely. Now then, just sticking that down like that. That will dry completely clear. The heavy body gel, as we know from everybody that everybody that's used it, it just really is so lovely. I did have these, do you know, I was going to put, actually I still will, do you think I might get that in that? No, I'm not going to, I'm going to keep those for another day, because, do you know what, I think those papers are just enough, and the main event is this gorgeous mould. So, just pressing that in, like so, and like I say, that will dry clear, I promise you it will. And then we're going to pop our plaster pieces, so when that dries clear, that you're still going to see that lovely border. I'm not wasting that border and you can't see it. It will dry lovely. Here we go, just pop in. Oh. Just putting the leaves at the bottom there. Got another lovely, I think these are like the sunflower leaves. And also with the heavy body gel, you can lay them on top of one another, and honestly, it just is so strong. If you've never used it before, try it, because it's an absolute gem of a product. It's the Pentart. Right, so we've got the bee to put on. So what I need to do is I need to just have a few little bits and pile them up. Let me get my little glue. which I absolutely love. Right, just pile these bits up like this. Need a few more. And to try, if I can, yeah, that will do. So by the time I put a little bit more of this on to make it more stand out a little bit more, there. So nobody knows apart from you that that cardboard is under there, but it really is such a great way to lift things up without using tons of your product that you don't need to. So that obviously will take a few minutes to settle. Well, more than a few minutes. It'll take a little while, maybe a good half an hour at least to settle, because it needs to, and it goes rock hard when it does go. We're going to put one over the top. That's it, just put that there. Now you remember these little ones, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of the heavy body gel and I'm going to just place them on top to give it even more depth and dimension on the actual vase of beautiful daisies, sunflowers, whatever you want to call them. So now let me just tidy this up a little bit. Let's start again on that bit, because I don't want that vase to be shiny, I want it to be matte finish. That's it, lovely. I'll leave that as it is. That's it. There we go. Right, so what? It's there. It's there. I'm not going to do any more now. I do need to finish off these edges, which I will do as soon as we come off the live. And where are they? They're floating around somewhere. Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll pop all these on around the edge and I'll tidy all that up. I'll also tidy these edges up with my piece of sandpaper as well. But I've got some, do you know, oh, here we go. I knew I'd got some. I've got some of the dressing. This is the what do you call it? I always forget what we call this. Lint, is it? Yeah, it's what you use. You use it for bandaging and dressing. Yeah, I'll get it on a. It is lint, isn't it? And then what you do is I colour it up with distress inks and water. Using obviously, and then just I do a big bunch of it every now and again, and when it's all nice and dry, just put it in a bag and then just use it up accordingly. There we go. So just finishing that off with that. So a couple of little bits to finish off, but you know what, I think we're pretty much there on that one. So Mark can tell me if you can actually see that detail. That will be amazing for me. Yeah, there we go, look. So obviously these little white bits of the heavy body gel will dry. and I will get those little bits tidied up along with my desk because it looks like a bomb's dropped. But just to reiterate, what we've used is this was what the whole project was based around, was this fantastic mould, the Stamperia mould from Daisy Art. I will be using it so much. Obviously these tag shadow frames are absolutely superb for this sort of project as well. It's not too daunting, just a nice size for the different bits and bobs. And of course the Daisy Art 8x8 papers, and of course we've used the multi-surface paints, white gessos and bits and bobs. So have a look, if you've only not been here long, you want to have a little look back. It will be on here until tomorrow, and then it will be going onto YouTube, and you can have a little look on there. But please do have a look on YouTube at other ones that we've got on there. That also Dina has got some gorgeous projects on there as well. So if you have a little look, have a little like and a subscribe, because we would really appreciate that. Okay, so I will say we'll just turn it around. Oh, thank you so much, Sandra. Let me turn it around. Here we go. Oh, I've got my, there are my ears today because it's so warm. But hope you like it. It makes a lovely little project, doesn't it? It really does. Yeah, have a little go. Lots and lots of dimension. Would make a fabulous gift. A really lovely gift for somebody's birthday or Christmas or whatever. Anyway, oh, we're a little bit skew with, not to worry. Have a lovely rest of your evening. Thank you so much for popping in. If you're on catch up, thank you for catching up, and we'll see you a week on Monday for Mini Monday Makes. Okay, all right then. Thank you. Good night. Bye.
Bye.